All right, guys, I'm so sorry about that. I just don't know what happened. It might have been an internet burp. Um, my laptop also always gets pretty hot, so maybe it had a moment when I'm streaming. So I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully, you can find me again, at least some of you. Um, and and unfortunately, I also missed a few of the comments. So, but I will go back and read them because they show up in the stream. Awesome, Lisa. Lisa's joined us. That's great. Welcome back, Lisa. Um, all right, and Zan asked me to put my website in the comments, so I'll do that. Go. And all right, awesome. Welcome back, Val. Sorry about that. Sometimes tech, right? It's awesome, except when it isn't. So. All right, so while you guys find your way here, hopefully the rest of us, as many, I don't usually get everyone, but hopefully a bunch of you guys find your way back. I'm going to start trying to extricate these snowflakes, and then I'll see what your comments are. Yeah, there's still a few spots that are difficult here. That's one that's missing here. Plus, that would be classic. And the problem is when I flip it over, I lose orientation of where I'm even trying to find. It's over here. Yeah, it's that one I missed. So. All right. Hey, Rebecca. I'm glad several of you guys have found your way onto the second one. That's awesome. Some of our less tech savvy people may struggle, but you guys are right up there, so that's good. I think what I'm going to do is take the layers apart now and then see what I can. Even though I'm starting to think that it was maybe a false economy because it's not as easy as I was hoping to get these snowflakes out. But that is the main. Oh man, this voice, guys. Hey Annie, you made it! Awesome! Yay! I was just saying that that I'm not sure this was such a great idea after all because it's proving to be quite difficult to extricate them all. I think I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have some named snowflakes that are missing little bits, but I think that's actually, yeah, that's more realistic, right? Most snowflakes don't make it to the ground completely intact, right? So it's more realistic that they have they're missing bits and may have a little ding or two in them, right? Yeah, well, I can convince myself of anything. But in all honesty, I mean, that joking aside, if I want to do like hyper precise stuff, I can do it digitally, but and I do plenty of fairly precise stuff with hand cutting, as you guys know, but it's not perfect, and that's part of what makes it better, right? So, all right, at least I got this one out, and now I just need to cut out a couple, help out some of the negatives, and with any luck, the other snowflakes will come a little faster. On what basis are you thinking that, Kat? I don't know. Wishful thinking, maybe. So what are you working on, Annie? Did you say? I can't remember whether you said. And you probably did say, and I've already forgotten. And if so, forgive me. You often work on like those 100-day challenges, right? Or 30-day challenges like in October and so on. Have you got any of that going on, or is Christmas enough to keep you busy? Probably is, right? All right. Woohoo, one snowflake. One skewed snowflake. One down, a whole bunch more to go. But maybe they'll come a little more quickly. So this is the white one. Right. There are always the little tiny bits where it's not quite cut through that hang on for dear life and make it difficult, right? And you sort of have to know, can I actually just pull it out, or do I have to help it with the cutting? Or if you pull too hard and it's not, if it's too stuck, you'll end up breaking it, right? So, all right, that actually came out pretty well, and it did come out faster than the last one, yay, fortunately. And, all right, I'm just getting some of the, I think I missed an edge there. Okay. So Rebecca, have you recovered from Christmas one with your with Kirk's family, and are you now preparing gradually for Christmas two? Or are you taking a little breather in between? I hope so. Right, 2 skewed snowflakes. There we go. And maybe a skewed blue snowflake. If I can get this one out, which I'm sure I can. Let's see. I was thinking that that collage or some sort of paper crafting, maybe collage, but then some three-dimensional aspects as well. So maybe like collage and origami or collage and paper sculpture would make really great Christmas ornaments, because I don't know about you guys, but we have a bunch of Christmas ornaments for our trees, and I haven't had a tree in a few years, maybe this year, but I'm not even sure. But we have these ornaments that are whatever they're made out of, like they're made out of like metal or ceramic or clay. Well, ceramic clay, yeah, same thing, sorry. But they're made out of like heavy material. And so you put them on the branch and the branch goes wah, wah, right? And I was thinking the more you can make like paper, really lightweight ornaments, the less distorted your tree would get, right? From having like I'm always looking for the sturdy branches for the heavy things, and then always grateful for any ornaments that are made out of like straw or paper um, that can go out on a limb, as it were. um, all right, there we go. I'll just get the pieces out of this one, and I'll check in on your comments. I don't, you know, I don't know quite why I have such a penchant for complex, like biting off more than I can chew. But I think I just have this, I can see in my mind's eye um, the really great effect of something that takes a lot of time. But, I just keep launching myself into these projects that I just like, they seem great. And then it's like, oh my God, this is going to take some work to get there, right? Um, and so a number of them don't get finished. But when I was younger, I think that this is it. When I was younger, my parents, my mother primarily, bless her, spoiled me because she gave me lots and lots of free time, and I was grateful for that. It really was, it messed me up in other ways because I thought the world revolved around me. um, but on the plus side, it really nurtured my creativity. So back then, I would definitely take on like really ambitious projects that would take a long time to come to fruition. And because my mother said, no, you don't have to do chores, it's like I had time to do like really elaborate things. Like when I used to wrap Christmas presents, I would do, that's probably where some of my first collages got done. I would either draw or make collages, elaborate scenes on each person's present out of colored paper, and so many other things like that were time intensive, like embroidery. I did some really involved embroidery, um, and so I still have that in my mind as far as like when I'm thinking of projects, I think, oh yeah, you could do that. That'd be cool, right? And then I realize, oh wow. So, here we are with like a little over 15 minutes left in the collage jam, and that's what I've got to show for myself, which is pretty funny. So checking in on your comments after a little drink of water because this voice is, I'm surprised. I hope you can hear me still, but all right. Maybe not all right. Okay, I'm going to try and get a bit lower because I think that's what I need. Okay, so Annie says, I am collaging. Awesome. Polar bear and a snow globe. That's so great. I love it, Annie. Yes, still sketching daily prompts. I really applaud that. That is the way you grow. And it's very easy to say, and it's really hard to do. I always think that I'm going to start a daily practice and I fail miserably over and over again. So I really, really applaud you for anyone who can actually do work, even a small amount. Like a small amount is actually the best way to go, small amount daily. All right. Um, Mia says, self-portrait collage course. I missed the one you offered a few years ago. Okay, I thank you. That's good to know. Annie says, decollage course in March, April would be great. Okay, duly noted. Rebecca says she's recovered from Christmas one, except maybe with some laundry. Yep, gearing up for number two. Shopping is harder for her family as we buy for everyone. Right. Do you do like a gift exchange for like where or something simplifying with Kirk's family, right? That's good. Mia says, haha, we made beautiful gingerbread ornaments from the wrong dough and they all fell on the floor. Exactly, like gingerbread dough, it's heavy, right? I mean, Janice says, oops, forgot again, but awesome that you're here, Janice. There's still some time left. I'm going to go a little over 3:30 because I had a little technical difficulty. Our first stream got interrupted. So, what is the question? Jan asks. Oh, I guess I was asking about like how people approach gifts, and I was also talking about Christmas ornaments. So I'm not sure there's any one question going around. I think there are a few, but I was talking about the fact that Christmas ornaments that are made out of paper might be a good option because they don't bend the tree branches. So Annie says, my sisters and I, 5 of them, used to exchange our favorite find of the year. Budget used to be $10. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Rebecca says, yes, we draw names for Kirk's family. Just do stocking stuffers for everyone. My family, Christmas is huge. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, I know you meant what I was asking, Janice. I've asked a few things, and so we've got sort of somewhat asynchronous answers coming in. So I was trying to do a little forensic figuring out there. All right, so I'm going to get back at cutting some snowflakes in the fond hope that eventually I'll have several. But before I do that, I'll just I will just do because this is going to take longer than I would hope. I'm just going to try and find my snow globe, which I may not be able to. Snow globe image. All right, cutting out the snow globe will be really easy because it's not a snowflake. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'll be able to show you what I have in mind with a lot fewer flakes, but it will at least give you an idea of the idea that I'm playing with. So I'm glad that thank you guys for finding your way back to my next stream. That's really great. I appreciate that. And for those of you who have joined late, I mentioned earlier in the stream that my wife Kim and I are going to do a joint stream on, is it the 18th, guys? It's next Wednesday. Yes, the 18th. So Wednesday the 18th at 2 p.m. So same time as Virtual Collage Jam, but Wednesday next week. And we're going to do some holiday gel plate printing. And I haven't set up the stream yet, but I will make sure that everyone on the Collage Jam mailing list will get it. So you can come and hang out if you're wrapping presents, if you're doing some like maybe baking or doing any kind of Christmas creating of your own. You can hang out with us. We were thinking we might call it a holiday hangout. So, all right. So here's my this is just like a royalty-free image of a snow globe. A little cheesy, but something like this is what I had in my mind, but with a lot more snowflakes. Like with snowflakes sort of whirling around, and I might do it on a larger sheet so that the snow globe is relatively small compared to all the snowflakes whirling around as if they've suddenly transcended the confines of the globe, and they're whirling around and they're overlapping each other. Obviously, I just have 3 right now, so and that's why I skewed them the way I did so that they look like you're seeing them on there obliquely. So that's the plan with more flakes. So the rest of the way, I'm just going to work on cutting more flakes. So for those of you who didn't join us, are joining us late, where is my, all right, so I took this one apart, so I have to put it back together again. So what I was doing was I piled up several sheets of paper, not several, 3, because too many and it's too hard to cut. And I taped these are the flakes I printed off, and I've been taping the sheets together. So now I'm taping this top sheet to 3 other sheets, a white sheet, a sort of a pale blue-gray sheet, and a blue sheet. Tape them together so that they stay put, and then I'm cutting each snowflake all the way through the layers so that cutting this snowflake at once gives me 3 different colored snowflakes. And of course, it's always tempting, at least for me, to like put more sheets on, and I have done that in the past where I'm trying to cut through 6 sheets, and it really it's so difficult that it's not worth it actually slows you down. But three sheets that are relatively thin paper works reasonably well. That snowflake that I just cut out, more complicated than I would have preferred. This one you can see has less detail, so this is going to be I wouldn't say much, but it should be a little bit faster anyway, so that's the one I'm going to move on to. Don't get carried away saying it'll be much easier. It should be somewhat easier at least. It feels that way, especially after working on that very, very complex snowflake. Yeah, it's possible that the reason, it might have been an internet glitch that caused the last stream to end. It might have just been my computer overheating. Like I can hear its fan working really hard. I put it on ice packs. I put ice packs below my laptop because I know it taxes it a lot to do the live streaming. And even then, like the ice packs are warm by the end of the session. So move on to the next axis. There's just no 2 ways around it that this flake is simpler than the previous one, so that's good. How about you guys? Do you find your in general, do you bite off more than you can chew sometimes, or do you have a better sense than I do about how ambitious to become? Um, I I say that and I sort of despair of myself, but I also know that most, not all, but a bunch of the pieces that I am most proud of in my art career are also those pieces that I bit off more than I could chew and that I managed to finish. So I think while it is a liability, it's also an asset. So and I think so much of life is like that, where we have these things that we wish we could change about ourselves, but if we just change the way we view them, it's not actually a problem, but it's actually a superpower, right? So, um, I don't think Zan rejoined us, but he was talking about that the autism and the challenges, but it's also, it comes with significant challenges, but also gifts. So, um, I know a bunch of people who um, obviously there are conditions that I wouldn't wish on anyone that don't have much in the way of upside. Um, but especially if you have a condition that that you can't change, that you can't make go away. Um, to be able to find the silver lining in it, even though it has all these negatives, can be a really, I think, really healing way of looking. And I'm no psychologist, so don't. So, and as I said, I don't. I know some people have things I wouldn't wish on anyone, but there are. I think so much of what we cope with, or so much of our, yeah, and you can look at it the other way too. Like, get things that we generally think of as gifts also have downsides, right? So maybe someone's like really driven in business and they just can't help but succeed in business, but at what cost for their humanity, right? So I think there are um, so many things like that. And I think just sort of awareness of them is really beneficial. Um, Whatever your assets are, whatever you're coping with, whatever your challenges are. So Zan had been asking about my transition earlier, and I said at the time I don't talk about it much, but it seems that today I am. Um, I definitely found that it was extremely challenging, especially when I was like, I couldn't believe it was something I was actually contemplating when it first came upon me. But I came across some like um, really impressive, inspiring trans people who have achieved amazing things, and a bunch of them have said, once I managed to transition and got through that, the other things that I struggled with didn't seem so difficult any after that. And I definitely feel like my art career has sort of benefited from, like, okay, well, the transition was and still is um, a bit challenging, more than a bit challenging. That's but the challenge of it compared to like some other things are just like, wow, well, compared to transitioning and figuring that all out, this is not so bad. Whatever this is, like putting in applications for art shows or putting myself out there in the world more as an artist. So it also helps to feel like you're yourself, right? So that has helped as well. Oh, babble, babble, babble. Sorry, guys. It's hopefully that's somewhat interesting, but I also what? I don't even know. All right. Well, I'm working on cutting out snowflakes. How about that? All right. This one is getting close. I'm going to flip it over and see where I'm at. I have a whole bunch down this side that I haven't cut, apparently. Right. Not those. Yep, so I get that. I get that. Yep. Over here. How about here? Yep, not there. All right, so yeah, so we're going a little bit, a few minutes over. I'll probably try and get these snowflakes extricated before I wrap up this stream. But if you have to leave right now, or have had, I know a bunch of you have busy schedules, so if you have to leave, I completely understand. So thank you for joining us. And I'll check in with comments right now because I want to be able to say goodbye to anyone who's leaving at this point. Let's see. Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca says, and remember to like this stream. It really helps Kat's channel get attention. Yeah, autocorrect. I figured as much, Rebecca. Mia says, love your snow globe collage vision. Thank you. That's nice. Yeah, the holiday hang should be fun. Both Kim and I are really looking forward to that as well. Janice says, great idea to multi-cut. Yeah, this is so when I first hatched this idea, I was really happy with it because if you're going to cut something difficult out, why not have multiples, right? Cut it out once and get 3 or 4 variants, right? So, and so getting back to the topic of like being overly ambitious, Rebecca says, I'm always too ambitious on new projects. It occasionally works out. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, that it occasionally works out. A bunch of stuff never makes it to the finish line because I look at it and I think I either lose momentum on it or I have a better idea. But occasionally it's like, no, this one's really good. I have to stick with it. I have to finish it because it's going to be too good. So yeah. So Mia says, I always bite more than I can chew, but try to forge ahead to finish them. Good for you, Mia. That is not easy. Unless I recognize it is way over my head, so knowing when to stop is also important. Absolutely. As well as not to feel regret. Exactly. There are lots of things in our lives that we have to finish, right? That there's just no getting around it. So whether we like it or not, right? And so like obligations that we just must complete. So our artistic endeavors, of course, there are sometimes these are other people rely on these too, but a bunch of them are for us, right? So the ones that are for us, first and foremost, we're the only ones that we really need to please. So if it's like, you know what, I thought this was interesting, but it's not interesting anymore, there should be no regret in putting it aside for now or forever, right? To move on to something that interests you more. But every once in a while, I will definitely go through my my pile of half-finished things and think, yeah, I don't need to do that. Don't need to do that. Oh, but this one, this one has real promise, and I can see, and I'm going to come back to it. So, um, Janice says, I love the art jam, but also the free therapy. Embrace yourself and your gifts. Yes. Yeah, not therapy, not qualified, but happy to ramble about that kind of stuff anyway. Mia says, Kat, loved your last exhibit at Quest Art. Oh, I'm glad you saw it, Mia. That's great. Collage work was amazing. Thank you for today. You're very welcome, Mia. It's lovely to have you along. And yeah, really, really great. Annie, always fun to hang out. Thank you so much, Kat. See you next week. And Val, yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, Val. Hopefully see you next week as well. So I'm just, if you're heading out, completely understand. If I don't see you next week, happy holidays to you guys. I'm just going to finish this one flake before I sign off. So I'm just going to do that. So stick with me or not, as you see, as suits you. All right. Let's look on the back, see what I've got here. What have I got on the back? Well, I've got a lot of not quite completed cuts. So just trying to help it along a little bit from the reverse. Okay, the tops of these pieces are not done. Those pieces are those pieces. Okay. I'm missing these cuts. There we go. Yep, still lots of little almost cut through, but not quite, as is usual. I'm cutting through many layers. And I think I'm going to do what I did last time and pull them apart so I can work on one at a time. Of course, I put too many pieces of tape on in the corner. All right, so work on my off-white snowflake here. Those are married, but definitely needs a little blade help to get out. Some of them are just little tiny bits that will snap out. Others not so much. Stuck to my tape. Classic. All right, if you're still with me, I forgot to mention earlier, but if you do a collage on the theme of Snow Globe, or if you do any other collage during Virtual Collage Jam, please post it on our Virtual Collage Jam group in Facebook. If you're new to it, you have to request to join the first time, and then you can post as much as you want. And so that is, like, if you search on Facebook for Virtual Collage Jam Group, you should find it. And as I said, it does require me to approve you for the first time, and then you can just post away merrily from there. So yeah, this was definitely a simpler snowflake. So it's a much easier, so many fewer arms to cut out, right? So thank goodness for that. It's not exactly simple, but it's not as complicated as that other one. You can sort of see once I've got this one taken out, which is almost there. They'll be able to see in comparison one to the other how many fewer arms or branches it has. But yeah, they're kind of broken up now, but you can see that one was the first one I did, and it had like, I guess it was really only 3 arms as opposed to 2, but it's that seemed to have added a lot of complexity, didn't it? So there are 2 of the 3 new snowflakes, just the blue one to go. And then I'll sign it off. And I hope you guys have a my tape pieces are sticking to me. I hope you guys have a better voice than I do. Happy holidays. Hope you get out skating or whatever kind of holiday things you like to do. And hopefully you can join us again for Kim and I's holiday which will be on Wednesday, December 18th at 2 p.m. I will send out an email to the virtual Collage Jam group. And if you are not a member of that, you can reach me through my website, calhoney.ca. I haven't got it switched over to Cat yet. And just use the contact form, and you can just request to be on the Collage Jam list, and I will put you on it. So people who are on that list get the prompts sent to them ahead of time so that they can think about it, and reminders of the upcoming Collage Jam. So now I've got double the number of snowflakes. They're all the same size, so they don't have quite the swirl feeling yet, but it definitely doubles the effect. So that's hopefully where it's heading. So, all right. So, great. You'll see us at the Hangout. That's awesome, Janice. Great. And Jane says, thank you, Kat. Hope to see you and Kim at the Hangout next week. Likewise, Jane and Rebecca. Likewise, I hope you have hope that the prep for the second Christmas isn't too bad, and that you have a really good and relaxing time. Get this really bright light out of the way. I will move my camera over to sign off. Oh, I forgot to darken it. Sorry, guys. There we go. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. And I got some terrible reflections. Well, can't fix that quickly, so I'll just have to live with it. So anyway, thank you very much. Happy holidays. See you on the 18th if I can. If I don't, have a great holiday, and we'll see you next year with and when the jam starts up. I haven't figured out exactly when that will be, but it'll be sometime in January. So see you then. Take care.